Plan your trip at visitmaine.com.
Destroying these trees. The state is considering putting cameras inside the forest to try to stop these vandals.
This weekend, Sound Transit is suspending light rail service between Capitol Hill and Soto. It starts at 10 o'clock tonight. Crews are working to update control signals for when the 2 and 1 lines join service. During the suspension, shuttles will take passengers between the stations. Normal service picks up at the start of the day on Monday.
Tax season is here, and the Seattle Public Library is offering free in-person tax preparation service through mid-April. It's happening in 12 locations across the city. Trained volunteers can answer questions and help you prep your personal tax returns. Last year, the library hosted 251 tax assistance sessions, helping taxpayers file more than 4,500 returns.
Some flurries this morning, and temperatures kind of hanging around the freezing mark. There isn't a lot left. It's kind of misty almost, a little foggy, but we'll see continued drier weather, warm up to the low 40s, and then tomorrow we have increasing rain, may have a little wet snow first for a few places, and then it's just all rain and mountain snow for the weekend.
Taking a look at your drive times one last time. A little bit all over the place, but not nearly as congested as it could be, or it usually is at this hour. Here's a look at what's going on Everett to Seattle, Shoreline to Renton, and Marysville to Bellevue.
Not too bad. Happy Friday and happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, we are glad that some of this cold weather is finally wrapping up. I was going to clap. Okay. Well, thanks for watching KIRO 7 News in the morning. Our next update is at 7:26. CBS
See the rhythm I have?
Is up next. Be sure to join us for KIRO 7 News. Aww.
When All City Fence builds your fence, they finish with a little sign just like this. On a cedar fence, a custom gate, ornamental iron, a commercial facility, or a public installation. This sign stands for more than 70 years of experience and craftsmanship brought together for this project. All City Fence has been doing things the right way for a long time. This might be a small sign, but what it represents is amazing. From Olympia to Bellingham, check them out. allcityfence.com.
What keeps baby's skin healthy? A diaper that doesn't leave skin wet. That's why Pampers Swaddlers absorbs wetness better for up to 100% leak-proof protection and 0% skin irritation. Pampers, for healthy baby skin.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just one-hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just one-hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just one-hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Took off her party clothes. Can't take off her diaper.
This Valentine's Day, show your...
Be done with this, but with the way temperatures are and the fact that we still have some flurries in the air, I want to make sure you're ready before you head out the door. So we'll talk about this hour by hour coming up.
And with today being another pinpoint alert day, we're checking out. Our crews have been prepping the roads and dealing with some power outages yesterday. We have the conditions for you everywhere around our area.
And gun violence in King County is such a big problem, it's deemed a public health crisis. Our own Brooke Griffin shows us why we actually might be turning a corner. That report in minutes.
And let's give you a live look here at our Emerald Queen Casino camera, and you can see some of the rain we've been seeing falling this morning. Some raindrops there on the lens. It is Friday. It is February 14th. Welcome to KIRO 7 News in the morning. I'm Lindsay Sheldon.
And I'm Dee Dee Sun. Meteorologist Nick Allard tracking those final flurries moving through our area. Frankie Catafaias is your real-time traffic on this Friday. Let's start with Nick this morning. Nick, at least we're just talking about a little bit of potential snow.
There isn't much more, and you're right, Dee Dee. I mean, as always, we just have some pockets where you're seeing a little bit of snow, as you can see on your pinpoint storm tracker from Everett through Seattle through Tacoma. Yeah, we have a little falling, but you can tell there is not a lot of moisture left on your pinpoint storm tracker. It's probably most consistently snowing around Marysville, Granite Falls, Lake Stevens, and will for a little while longer. Same thing around Issaquah, same thing around Maple Valley. So at this point, pinpoint, just like we've been talking about on the computer models, the majority of the moisture we have left is east of I-5. So still a few showers around at the bus stop this morning, and then we're going to see drier conditions this afternoon. But still, I do want to walk you through the latest computer models on the decreasing moisture today, the increasing rain and mountain snow for tomorrow, plus your ski report. Frankie, we got a lot to cover, even though the pinpoint alert is mainly just going to be for this morning.
Woof. Yeah, you got a laundry list there, Nick. Let's go ahead and talk about the commute. So luckily, we haven't seen any major slowdowns, crashes, nothing like that throughout the 4, the 5, and now as we enter the 6 o'clock hour. But those roads are looking just a bit glossy out there. So I have a view right now of I-5 in Mercer in Seattle. We've got Issaquah near Hobart Road, and then this is Tacoma Narrows Bridge and the Olympia Airport. Now, for the most part, I mean, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, I mean, could be just a little bit on the slick side, but it's really like this Issaquah Hobart Road where we've seen those glossy conditions. Just overall, depending on where you're at, it's going to depend on what you see, but just take it slow out there. Wet and slick is generally the trend here. Patchy ice and slush possible through some, especially the neighborhood areas, and then that patchy fog. Now we have a look at those drive times coming up in about 10 minutes, so don't go anywhere.
All right, thanks, Frankie. And weather is affecting school districts in our area this morning. We just learned that the North Thurston Public School District will be closed today because of hazardous road conditions. Franklin Pierce, Chehalis, Eatonville, and Peninsula School Districts are the other ones that are on a 2-hour delay this morning. We do have a full list scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and you can always check out kiro7.com. And that is why today is another pinpoint alert day. Some people definitely still impacted because of this lingering winter weather. So we're driving through the South Sound this morning, giving you an idea of what that commute's going to look like.
With those temperatures hovering around freezing, you could see some slick spots. Kiro 7's Runji Sinha joining us in live drive with a look at those conditions. Runji, where are you right now, and what are you seeing?
Well, Lindsay and Dee, we're actually on I-5 northbound coming up on Tacoma, and there are some flakes falling right now at this hour. Take a look outside. You can see the flakes maybe a little bit on your screen, and there's dampness on the roadway right here. So clearly a little bit slippery, but not too bad. You know, Frankie's been talking about those drive times. We're seeing traffic moving, so hopefully the drive times don't really get too bad. But most of the snow we've seen, if we've seen any, has been in this area of Tacoma. In fact, if you get off Interstate 5 in Tacoma, you're going to find a lot of snowy streets, a lot of slushy and slippery streets as well, even some of the main streets in Tacoma. So that's a thing that a lot of people here in Pierce County should be noting down as they head out the door this morning, that you're probably going to get clear driving on the highways, but you're maybe going to find snow on your local roads. So that's the thing that's important. And we've seen more accumulation in the Tacoma area as well. For now, though, it's mostly just slick out here on I-5, not too bad, not too hazardous at all, because there's not much accumulation on the roadway. So we're driving north. We're going to continue to monitor the roads as we make our way north back towards the Seattle Bellevue area and bring you the latest on conditions. For now, live in Tacoma, Runji Sinha, Kiro 7 News.
Well, the winds have died down in the Cascade foothills this morning after strong gusts whipped through East King County and caused a series of power outages yesterday. A few businesses and the grocery store deli were closed in Enumclaw. They were under a wind advisory all day. Power crews and road crews were standing by for any issues.
When we get about an inch of accumulation, that's when we get the snow plows out, the sanders and so forth, and start clearing streets.
Brian Spindor says that Enumclaw crews are ready to go, and his hope is that with the frozen ground and hopefully the weakest of the trees blowing down in the bomb cyclone in November, there aren't too many issues to deal with. For your weather on the go, be sure to download the Kiro 7 mobile weather app. Nick will send you alerts so you know what to expect in your neighborhood.
A man charged in a wild drive-by shooting in Seattle faced a judge yesterday. You'll remember this scene that was caught on camera along Aurora Avenue in Northgate. Yeah, just a hail of bullets, people diving for cover there. This all happened January 10th. Police caught up to Lataquiri Jones Jr. last week at an apartment complex in Auburn. Jones was recently convicted on a drug charge. He was awaiting his sentence at the time of the shooting. Jones pleaded not guilty to additional charges.
The Seattle mother accused of beating her teenage son to death over failing to do his chores faced a judge yesterday morning. 29-year-old Danae Young is charged with second-degree murder. Police say she called 911 after beating her 14-year-old for an hour. Court documents state his 3 siblings, all under the age of 6, were there when he was killed. Prosecutors say the stepfather was there too, but did nothing to stop it. Young remains in jail on $3 million bail.
The man accused of shooting and killing a man in a Seattle park is also in jail on a $3 million bail this morning. He pleaded not guilty to murder yesterday. Prosecutors say 20-year-old Jameer Johnson followed a man into Baker Park in Crown Hill late last month and stole his backpack. They say the victim didn't resist, and that security video shows Johnson shooting the 64-year-old man. Now, despite that series of crimes, we're actually learning that King County is finally seeing a decline in deadly gun violence for the first time since 2018.
County leaders say a lot of work still needs to be done, but this is promising. Cover 7's Brooke Griffin joins us in studio live, and Brooke, numbers did spike in one category.
Well, while the overall number of deadly shootings is down by 30%, the most shocking part of this report is the number of kids who are now gun violence victims. That number doubled over the last 3 years. The King County data shows overall gun violence deaths are going down. In 2023, there were 107 fatal shootings compared to 75 in 2024. Non-fatal shootings are also down 13% in those same years. County prosecutors tell us those cases are disproportionately impacting men and people of color. However, prosecutors say the most concerning number is how many kids are becoming those victims. Last year, the number of victims jumped up to 61 kids shot, up from 25 in 2022. Douglas Wagner with the King County Prosecutor's Office says this report is what they've been working for.
It's very encouraging to see that we've kind of broken this fever pitch of gun violence that really ratcheted up in the pandemic and in the years that followed.
And the health department calls gun violence a public emergency, saying they're trying to treat the issue before even more people get hurt. They tell us an increase in law enforcement, hospital intervention, and community programs are contributing to the declining gun violence. Now, the prosecutor's office tells us a lot of things have likely caused that decrease, which of course they're happy about, but say a lot more work needs to be done if they're going to keep people in King County safe. Lindsay and Dee Dee, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Brooke. Someone is vandalizing beloved trees in Puyallup, hacking them with a chainsaw. They were so damaged, Fish and Wildlife officers say they had to cut down those trees to keep hikers safe. We checked out the trees for ourselves, and the damage is pretty bad. 4 trees vandalized, and all of them were right next to a trail. The latest incident happened just last month after someone used a chainsaw to cut into a maple tree. Another tree damaged beyond repair, a Douglas fir about 200 years old. The Department of Fish and Wildlife says they want to stop whoever is destroying these cherished trees, and before one of those damaged trees falls on someone on trail.
People don't think about that if they're just out playing around. You know, you get a little bit of a wind pickup and there's anybody on the trail here, yeah, it would crush somebody and kill them instantly.
The state is considering putting cameras in the forests along those trails to stop vandals. If someone is caught doing this, they could face first-degree charges of malicious mischief.
6:09 right now. Let's check in with meteorologist Nick Allard. Tracking the weather on this pinpoint alert day, looking pretty good in some areas.
Yep.
Other areas like North Thurston Public Schools are even closing school.
I know it. I was trying to think about that. We had snow that started there yesterday about midday. Is that when we started seeing it? About midday or so, and then it kind of just went off and on for a lot of the day there. And then overnight temperatures have fallen down there. You are around freezing, so I will not be surprised to hear of some icy spots in the South Sound. I haven't heard of any icy conditions yet, period, but I know Frankie's keeping an eye on that. You can see on your Tulalip Resort Casino camera still a little moisture out there, but nothing sticking. You can actually see a few flurries falling in Auburn right now live at the airport, but again, nothing really sticking here. And this is what I'm talking about. Arlington, Lake Stevens, Snohomish, Edmonds, all about 32 to 33, 34 in Mukilteo, and then about 30 in Enumclaw. You are, I'm just looking off camera right now, at 33 in Olympia, but you know, around Yelm, Rainier, Tenino, you're all hanging about 32, just like Lakewood and Spanaway there in the upper 20s. So there isn't a lot of moisture left, but still some flurries there in the South Sound. And then you have some pockets around, again, Lake Stevens, Arlington, Marysville of snow, wet snow around Snohomish. You have some snow falling in Monroe, some snow falling in Issaquah, Sammamish, and then a little bit around Maple Valley, Auburn, Eatonville, Enumclaw, Bonnie Lake. These showers, for the most part, except maybe around here as you get a little elevation, shouldn't do much more. And hour by hour, I figure between about 8 and lunchtime, we should start to really dry out. I don't think you'll see much more besides some flurries or a few more mixed showers. And again, maybe a dusting. And then this afternoon, mainly dry, getting into the lower 40s. And your pinpoint 7-day forecast with your weekend always in view. Not a pinpoint alert day this afternoon, even more than likely. Tomorrow, just some increasing rain that I'll time out for you. And Sunday as well, with a lot of snow in the mountains. And that's really good news that we'll talk about here in about 10 minutes. But at just about 6:11, Frankie is here. And you know, the concern is there. We haven't heard about it, but the concern is there for icy conditions.
The concern is there, yes. We certainly have the elements to make this morning a bit dicey. I mean, we've talked about, and you've really made a great point here, Nick, with just, as always, depends on where you are, what you've seen, and what's kind of stuck, what's melted, what's lingered. Now, I have views that kind of show a little bit of all of that. Seattle, Issaquah, Chehalis Airport, and the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Now, you can see all these views a little different. Chehalis Airport showing just a little bit of some of that snow still lingering there. Some of the light accumulation, the concern there is when you drive over, it does become more compact and icy. Overall, though, just looking a little wet and slick, though, through parts of Seattle, Issaquah, and Tacoma at best. You know, haven't really seen a massive impact to drive times, but just with the natural increase of drive or increase in traffic, we have seen an increase in those times as well. I have seen an increase in the north sound. I'll have a look at those drive times for you coming up here in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Frankie. 6:11. Coming up, a new proposal could set rules on self-checkout machines in Washington. What it can mean next time you head to your grocery store.
And the U.S. is having its most active flu season in 15 years. But how do you know when to go to the ER? The symptoms, you should be on the...
Magical moments. Snowy adventures. Warming up. Making memories. A winter wonderland. The perfect close-by getaway this winter is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
If you're frustrated with occasional bloating or gas, your body's giving you signs. It's time to try Align. Align probiotic was specifically designed by gastroenterologists to help relieve your occasional bloating and gas. When you feel the signs, it's time to try Align.
At Mathnasium, we believe every kid can be a math kid. And we make it fun. We customize our math instruction for each student so students can soar ahead and take on new challenges. Because there's nothing math kids can't do. Mathnasium. Contact us for a free assessment.
Can Stonyfield organic yogurt save the world? Can yogurt teach us to be better people with a deeper appreciation of the earth and each other? That's a lot to ask of yogurt. But if it's a really good yogurt, made with high-quality ingredients and no harmful pesticides, it could save this mom from the after-school showdown. Can Stonyfield organic yogurt save the world? No. But the right one can save your day. Stonyfield Organic. Good on purpose. Can Stonyfield Organic yogurt with high-quality ingredients and no harmful pesticides save the world? Can yogurt teach us to be better people with a deeper appreciation of the earth and each other? That's a lot to ask of yogurt. But if it's a really good yogurt, it could save you from saying, "We have food at home," for the millionth time. Stonyfield Organic. Good on purpose.
Straight lines, clean, tight fittings, no leaks.
Pristine, isn't it?
Well, better than code. I guess that's why you call it a signature install.
Well, precision doesn't happen by accident. We insist our installers do all the little things that make a big difference in the performance of your home's plumbing.
It's a difference that's easy to see.
Backed by the best guarantees and warranties in the business.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1-hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
This Valentine's Day, show your love with a personal gift that lasts.
Oh my gosh, guys, guess what just...
2 months on the Hyundai Tucson today.
6:14, we are in the middle of the most intense flu season in the U.S. in 15 years. The latest data shows there have been around 13,000 deaths related to the virus, including at least 57 children. So when should you go to the ER? Well, typically flu will cause high fever, muscle aches, body pain, and headache. But the real concern creeps in if you have a persistently high fever, shortness of breath, or difficulty breathing. That's the time to get emergency help because it means pneumonia might be developing.
We don't think that the cases themselves are more severe or that this strain is causing worse flu than in a typical season. It's just so much more frequent.
Doctors say we are likely experiencing the peak right now, which typically comes in mid-February. It is a good reminder to keep your hands clean as well as shared workspaces clean. Redfin is expected to cut around 450 jobs after signing a new deal with Zillow. Both companies are based in Seattle. The partnership means Zillow will take over all multifamily rental listings from Redfin. As part of the deal, Redfin is restructuring its rental division. That's where all the job cuts are coming from. They're expected to be made between now and July.
This weekend, Sound Transit is suspending light rail service between Capitol Hill and SoDo. It starts at 10 tonight. Crews are working to update control signals for when the 2 and 1 lines join service. During the suspension, shuttles will take passengers between the stations. Normal service is expected to pick back up at the start of the day on Monday.
Washington lawmakers could be placing limits on self-checkout lines at some grocery stores if a new bill becomes law. If passed, this would impact grocery stores over 15,000 square feet. Those stores would only be able to use self-checkout lines if a staffed lane was also open. Employees tasked to monitor them would be limited to watching 2 lines at once, and customers would be capped at 15 items or less. Discount warehouses like Costco would be exempt, and so would other stores carrying mostly bulk items with membership requirements. Most shoppers we spoke with were supportive.
I think there should be a limit on those because there's supposed to be like the fast checkout.
I would. I think a lot of our employees have been replaced, unfortunately, by them. So if this would protect them, then yeah, all in favor of it.
Retail associations who oppose the bill say it could hurt independent grocers, and also that the one-size-fits-all model just doesn't work. Grocery workers who support it, though, say they're overworked and often abused by customers while trying to cover too many of those self-checkout lanes at once. And checking out at the grocery store these days, it can lead to some serious sticker shock, with food prices up nearly 2% over the past year.
But a recent survey by Consumer Reports may help shoppers save money with store brands. Those can be really good.
Yeah.
In a blind taste test of coffee, for example, Consumer Reports found tasters enjoyed store brands from Trader Joe's and Walmart over more expensive name brands. Tasters also preferred Costco's Kirkland Signature Orange Juice and Simply Pulp-Free Orange Juice over Tropicana. This shows that shoppers may want to start thinking about trading big brands for store brands in other categories, too.
If you shop national name brand versus store brands, those store brands can save you 40% over your personal care.
One other item everybody is talking about right now is eggs. And listen up. Consumer Reports says shoppers can expect egg prices, which are already high, to rise as much as 20% this year. That's because bird flu continues to impact poultry producers.
Well, tax season is here, and the Seattle Public Library is offering free in-person tax preparation service through mid-April. This is happening at 12 locations across the city. Trained volunteers can answer questions and help you prep your personal tax returns. Last year, the library hosted 251 tax assistance sessions, helping taxpayers file more than 4,500 returns.
6:18. Let's check in now with meteorologist Nick Allard. You've been giving us camera views all over the area, different stories depending on where you are.
For sure.
How's it looking at SeaTac?
Cloudy right now, low clouds, a little fog, kind of misty, but there isn't much precipitation on the radar in this area. But you can see there as that light is spinning around there at top of the tower, you can get some low clouds here. And with that, there is some fog, some mist, or even just if you look at your Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma, just a few light showers coming down. And then in Everett, it's at the moment at least not snowing live on the camera, but we do have some moisture nearby with temperatures at 26 in Bellingham, in about 28, 29-ish around Spanaway right now. Just about everybody else, though, about 32 to 33. And we haven't really heard of many issues with ice at all so far. But, you know, if you have a little snow on the ground, could be slick. That's the main reason why we wanted to make this a pinpoint alert day. If you look at your pinpoint storm tracker, most of anything left is going to be east of I-5 with just kind of like mist and drizzle and flurries everywhere else. These showers in Lake Stevens are nearly done. Granite Falls, nearly done. Monroe, nearly done. Same thing around farther south in Maple Valley and Enumclaw. I will say, though, this is the area well east, where you will see a few more showers before we wrap things up later today. Even Bonnie Lake now mainly seeing these showers end. So look between now and 7, and then 7 through lunch on your Pinpoint Future Track. There's not a lot left. But the foothills will keep moisture the longest. And then noon through 5, we see that end, and we see just a few showers streaming through, most of which should fall as rain. And then tomorrow morning, we are mainly dry to start, but you'll see from 7 through lunch, rain increases, and then we just see pockets of rain for the rest of the weekend. There could be a few wet snow pockets to start tomorrow, especially like the Hood Canal, maybe a few isolated spots in the foothills or farther north in Whatcom County. That's all, though. Really, then, what I would say is Bear could probably come out now because he's been hanging out for the entire, well, I'm not sure if that's true, but he's been hanging out under the bed in Tacoma. I don't blame him. It's been cold and gross. Go to KIRO7.com/petwalk, and I do dare you to one-up that one. If you go to your Pinpoint 7-day forecast with your weekend always in view, it is increasing rain tomorrow, still some lingering rain Sunday and next week, around 50. But what I want to do now is look at your ski report. What's all this movement I'm doing? I want to look at your ski report, then add how much snow we're going to see for the weekend, Frankie, because it is, quote-unquote, real good.
You know what? You know it's Friday when Nick starts bouncing and bending and doing all these things. Let's talk about your traffic commutes this morning. We've been kind of keeping an eye. Nick's got the forecast covered. Roads really pretty uneventful. I've seen a couple of events popping up that have been some sort of stalled vehicle off to a shoulder on a side street, so really not having an impact on the vast majority of us. Now, slowdowns are picking up in the South Sound. We are seeing that especially in the Sumner area on 167 heading northbound. Speeds are starting to be a bit sluggish, about 39 miles per hour, and of course we're seeing a couple of those slowdowns continuing just near that 167 405 interchange, and then of course we're seeing just a little bit of your I-5 and your Tukwila. Drive times just slightly impacted with these slowdowns. Sumner to Renton only increased by about 3 minutes in the last 10 minutes, so good news there, but starting to increase from Maple Valley to Bellevue and Tacoma to Seattle. Now, if you have to head out the door right now and you got to leave us, make sure you're getting at least our app, KIRO 7 News app, to get those updates, or you can listen to those road updates on the road at KIRO News Radio.
Thanks, Frankie. Coming up, a suspected U-Haul thief's arrest caught on camera. Why she told deputies she attempted to run.
Plus, it's Valentine's Day, and we're telling you about a love story, 52 years and counting, for this West Seattle couple.
We've been together over 50 years, and why separate it now?
How they're still celebrating their love, despite one of them struggling with dementia.
Your chance to win $1,000 is next. Stay tuned for your KIRO 7 weekday payday keyword, and check out KIRO7.com/payday for official rules and enter for your.
When All City Fence builds your fence, they finish with a little sign just like this. On a cedar fence, a custom gate, ornamental iron, a commercial facility, or a public installation, this sign stands for more than 70 years of experience and craftsmanship brought together for this project. All City Fence has been doing things the right way for a long time. This might be a small sign, but what it represents is amazing. From Olympia to Bellingham, check them out. allcityfence.com.
Can Stonyfield organic yogurt save the world? That's a lot to ask of yogurt. But if it's a really good yogurt, made with high-quality ingredients and no harmful pesticides, it can absolutely save your day. Stonyfield Organic. Good on purpose. Can Stonyfield Organic yogurt save the world? That's a lot to ask of yogurt. But if it's a really good yogurt, made with high-quality ingredients and no harmful pesticides, it can absolutely save your day. Stonyfield Organic. Good on purpose.
I love that my daughter still needs me, but sometimes I can't help due to burning and stabbing pain in my hands. So I use Nervive.
Nervive's clinical dose of ALA reduces nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days.
Now I can help again. Feel the difference with Nervive.
Between Molly leaving and Mom's osteoporosis, I thought life was gonna slow down. Boy, was I wrong.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and are at high risk for fracture, Evenity can help you rapidly build new bone in just 12 months. Evenity is the only bone builder that also helps slow bone loss, and it's proven to significantly reduce spine fracture risk.
She said the Evenity she's taking builds new bone. Builds new bone! So yeah, we still bike, babysit, and brunch with the ladies.
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a heart problem. Tell your doctor if you have had a heart attack or stroke. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it, as serious events have occurred with Evenity. Signs include rash, hives, swelling of the face or throat, which may cause difficulty in swallowing or breathing, muscle spasms or cramps, numbness, or tingling. Tell your doctor about severe jawbone problems, as they have been reported with Evenity. Report hip, groin, or thigh pain. Unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred with Evenity. Ask Ask your doctor about building new bone with Evenity.
It's time to stop suffering. I just can't describe how amazing it feels to be in control of my body. Watch how Velvital will change everything.
This Valentine's Day, show your love with a personal gift that lasts.
Oh my gosh, guys, guess what just...
When all you want is everything.
625 chocolate prices are up 10 to 20% this Valentine's Day. So how much will other goodies cost you? Well, unfortunately, everything is a little bit more expensive this year. In fact, according to LendingTree, Americans in relationships plan on spending around $200 for Valentine's Day. Beyond chocolate, jewelry prices are up by about 5%. And the national average for a dozen roses is up 2%, with an average price of more than $90.
Everything gets more expensive. Well, only on Kiro 7, it is a love story 52 years and counting. Every day is Valentine's Day for this West Seattle couple. Frank and Heike Hayan got married in 1973, traveled the world and crossed everything off their bucket list. But in 2022, Heike moved to an assisted living facility while battling dementia. Now, in this difficult chapter of life, Frank has still never left her side.
Our bucket list was always to be together. You made a commitment in sickness and in health.
Now I'm starting to cry.
Oh, so sweet. Frank says he visits Heike every afternoon and stays until bedtime to make sure he gets his goodnight kiss and hug.
This morning it is a pinpoint alert day. We still have some lingering snow showers around places like Everett and east of Seattle, but boy, there is so little left. Still, even though we're nearly through it, it is a pinpoint alert day, and I want to make sure you are fully prepared before you go anywhere. We're going to walk you through this in the 6:30 half hour.
And rampant gun violence in King County, but now we might be turning a corner. A look at the new data showing the violence is going down for the first time in
magical moments, snowy adventures, warming up, making memories, a winter wonderland. The perfect close-by getaway this winter is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
The all-electric, all-quiet Subaru Solterra. Dog tested, dog approved.
Get great low-rate finance or lease offers on select new Solterra EV models during the Subaru A Lot to Love event going on now.
A dream is a wish your heart made.
Between Molly leaving and Mom's osteoporosis, I thought life was gonna slow down. Boy, was I wrong.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and are at high risk for fracture, Evenity can help you rapidly build new bone in just 12 months. Evenity is the only bone builder that also helps slow bone loss, and it's proven to significantly reduce spine fracture risk.
She said the Evenity she's taking builds new bone. Builds new bone! So yeah, we still bike, babysit, and brunch with the ladies.
Evenity can increase risk of heart attack, stroke, or death from a heart problem. Tell your doctor if you have had a heart attack or stroke. Do not take Evenity if you have low blood calcium or are allergic to it, as serious events have occurred with Evenity. Signs include rash, hives, swelling of the face or throat, which may cause difficulty in swallowing or breathing, muscle spasms or cramps, numbness, or tingling. Tell your doctor about severe jawbone problems, as they have been reported with Evenity. Report hip, groin, or thigh pain. Unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred with Evenity. Ask your doctor about building new bone with Evenity.
This Valentine's Day, show your love with a personal